Okay, so we have some pinto beans here, two 15.5 ounce cans of pinto beans, and you're going to take out 1 cup of those and put the rest of them in the food processor. I've got about a half a cup here of broth. I've used chicken, vegetable, and beef, and they all work well. There's not a lot of taste in that, so we're gonna process this until it's smooth. Okay, we're gonna take a look at that, and that looks great. I think, let me get a spatula here. That has nothing in it, no lumps. So that's great. So now I'm going to put we're putting the rest of these beans in here, and we're gonna just give it like 3 pulses. We want some texture. Whoops. I think what I'll do is I'll give it 1 more. Yeah, that's what you want it to look like, a little bit. That looks perfect. You want the beans to be chopped up but not completely obliterated. Okay, so I'm gonna take this and move it out of the way, and we'll use that in a minute. I'll put this over here. Put some oil in the pan and add this is bacon. You can use salt pork. You just need some fat in that to give it some depth. If you don't want to use meat, this is very conducive to vegetarian or vegan. You can use some olive oil, anything you want to use, and it still tastes good. It just doesn't have that meat depth, but that's fine. Okay, so we're gonna let this brown up a little bit, probably 7 or 8 minutes. Just want it a little bit crispy. Okay. All right, so this looks great. I'm gonna take this the bacon out and set it aside. We needed I'm using this for the fat content here. I want about 2 tablespoons of oil left over. So the next thing we're going to do is put in our onions. And we're gonna get these sauteed till they're kind of translucent. Okay, now those are cooking nicely, so I'm going to add the jalapeno peppers. There's 2 of them. It said to remove the seeds. I left some of them in there because these weren't the hottest peppers I've ever seen, and we're just gonna let those all cook for about 5 minutes until I'm gonna add some salt and some garlic. We'll just let that cook until they're cooked all the way through and kind of wilting. Oh, it smells so good already. Oh, yum. So I have this on medium-high right now, and these pieces are a little bit bigger than I would have anticipated, but this is what I saw when I was in their kitchen, so I've tried to keep everything the same. Just gonna add about a half a teaspoon of cumin and let that get fragrant. Oh, smells divine. Okay, I'm gonna turn this down. This gets really thick really fast. Just very simple. I am gonna add a little bit more so it can heat up without, it gets really thick really fast. So I have learned that I need to add a little bit of liquid and then let it evaporate. So what's happening here is we're gonna let this, probably going to cook for about 5 minutes, and as we move along you're going to see this thicken up. When I was walking through the kitchen, I noticed that they were putting some of their pieces of fat back in, and it does add a nice taste if you want to have that type of fat in there. Yum. Smells delicious. I'm going to taste this and see if it's seasoned properly. And I think we have about probably 3 minutes left on this to get where I want it. Oh, it's perfect. Perfect. And I like the green showing. I like the pieces in there. I'm looking at the bubbles and I'm just trying to make sure it doesn't stick to the bottom. And I just want this to reduce, we're almost there. That's the consistency I want, but the edges aren't quite there yet. So. And I think I'm gonna call that good. It's thickening up on the sides now. And there is the refried bean.